Have you ever heard of the saying that your network is your net worth? And if you study the most successful people, these guys have a wide network of contacts. And what I love about this book, it teaches us the different tactics, strategies, and techniques on how we can become a power connector with the 5-50-100 rule. So as usual, I have my five key takeaways, starting with the first key takeaway, the 5-50-100, or your power circle. So based on psychology and studies, we can only maintain up to 150 meaningful contacts. And amongst those 150, we could segregate them into three buckets, which is the first one, the five inner circle. These are usually your family members, your best friend, really close relatives, those that you connect on a daily basis, those that you can really depend your deepest, darkest secrets, you can depend your life on. So the five inner circle members. The next one is the valuable circle. These 50, or group of 50, are those that add meaningful value to your life, may it be in personal or in business. So you constantly need to connect with them on a weekly basis. So it's a regular conversations, adding value to each other's lives. So this is the 50 valuable circle. And next and lastly is the 100 business circle. So these people may be occasional business contacts, distant friends, relatives that you may not connect on a more regular basis, but you still value them as a connection and still keep them within your communications, right? So ideally, you connect with them on a monthly basis. So based on studies, again, we can only maintain a maximum of 50, 150 meaningful contacts. So uh, it's very important for us to assess whether or not we have the right contacts in place. Are we actually maintaining these relationships depending on their category? So again, it's good to keep in mind the power circle concept. The next key takeaway is whenever you think about connections, it's you think about it in three dimensions, 3D. So above, below, and sideways, right? So it's not about having the same contacts, the same ideologies, the same business environment, so on. It would benefit you most if ever you have a diverse set of contacts. No, try to connect with people who have opposing view as yours, maybe located in a different country, geographical diversity, people who have different passions, experiences, and even professions. The main reason is by having a diverse set of contacts, it really expands your knowledge. It expands, the way you think, and at the same time, it helps you grow as a person. So again, think of your connections as 3D, right? So above, below, and sideways. Maybe your boss, your peers, or even your subordinates, right? And as well as understanding diverse perspectives and keeping them in your contact base. The next nugget of wisdom is the power connector phases. So, how to become a power connector? So, the first one is to first understand, right, who you are, what do you have to offer as a person, and what do you need in terms of contacts. Once you have an internal assessment of who you are, what you want, and so on, you next need to identify the key players within your identified ecosystem. So, for example, you're in the education industry, such as I am. It's very important for me to understand who are the influential figures within that industry or in that business, right? Once I identify that, I need to create an inventory of all of my personal connections. I take out a list of 150 contacts that I personally know, and then I put it into a chart. I rate these guys on a score of 1 to 5 based on their importance as well as my closeness to them, right? So if you notice in this chart, it says the influence score, right? So it's understanding how influential are they within that ecosystem, as well as add another score 1 to 5 depending on my ability to access this contact. The next one is based on my 150 list, I identify who are my top five, who are my key 50, and who are my vital 100. And depending on their category, I need to make that deliberate effort to actually reach out to them on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. Next is once you do this inventory, connection inventory, more or less you'll have a better understanding on, you know, identifying your current gaps. If you notice that all of your contacts are clustered into one industry or not that diverse, maybe it's an opportunity for you to actually assess who are the people I need to connect with and add them to your potential power circle. And finally, the last thing you need to do is connect and network to these specific individuals. So if you notice, this is the table form that you can actually do or practice or implement. If you also notice, there's an included, you need to include yourself because it gives you a better understanding on how you can add value to other people and which skills, which contacts do you actually lack. So again, the power connector phases. The fourth key lesson is understanding ecosystem. So I briefly mentioned it a bit, and the most successful people have a clear understanding of a diverse ecosystem. So in your contact, in your power circle, you need to have a diverse set of contacts, family and friends, career within your career industry or professionals within your industry, uh, people who have different passions, interests, people who are well connected in politics, government, yeah, especially if you need certain bills or um, government policies that you need help with or permits and whatnot. Finance, if you need funding, venture cap, angel investors, etc. Media, especially if you want to get media coverage. Your desired industry, again, it's very important for you to, network in associations, academic institutions, or even research. And lastly, community and nonprofits. So a lot of people who are high profile, who are um, high net worth, who have a good network, they are actually very involved in giving back to community and not participating in nonprofit events. So again, it's about understanding ecosystems and do you have the right um, diversity in terms of the ecosystems you have in your power circle. And this is a table of the critical resource map. So it's basically identifying a goal that you have, a short-term, mid-term, long-term goal, and identifying the key people, key opportunities, key knowledge, and key resources, funding resources that you need, and mapping that against your power circle to identify gaps or potential people who can help you achieve your specific goal. Critical resource map. And the last nugget of wisdom is always keep in mind that the most effective power connectors are those who focus relentlessly on adding value. And to add value, it's about asking yourself, doing an internal analysis. What do they want? Why do they want it? Who can help them? And how can I help connect them? Again, it's about adding value first, providing value first before uh, asking in return. So it's about earning that trust, and you can do this by adding value. So again, those are my five key takeaways. I really love this book. 5 out of 5. Highly recommend it. And if you like this summary, I do one summary every week. Go to youtube.com, search Paulo Balinas. And in the link in description, I have a link to Audible. That's my secret hack on how I read one book a day. And there's also a direct link to the specific book. If you want to download it, click the link and subscribe. Thank you and have a great evening. Good night.